What does a daily commute look like for an ordinary Filipino worker? Today, let's find out. Hi, good morning. My name is Onad, just an ordinary guy who lives and works in Metro Manila. Every morning on weekdays, I wake up at the same time, take a shower, brush my teeth, and go to work. I don't usually eat breakfast. I'm already used to it. I've been doing it for years. I typically travel to work by motorcycle or bicycle. Monday is usually the worst day for traffic during rush hour, both in the morning and in the evening when people are heading home. I haven't bought a raincoat yet, so today I decided to take a jeepney to work because there's a light drizzle and the sky looks like it could rain at any moment. These small eateries along the streets are a lifesaver for many workers. If you're running late in the morning or don't have time to cook, you can simply stop by, grab a quick meal, or buy a ready cooked lunch to take with you. They offer a variety of affordable dishes, from grilled meats, vegetables, to stews and fried fish, giving people plenty of options without spending too much. For many office workers, laborers, and commuters, these eateries provide a convenient and budget friendly way to eat. The food is usually cheaper and feel more home cooked than what you would find in many food courts. In the Philippines, a simple commute to work is a daily struggle. For many ordinary workers, the day begins long before sunrise, waking up very early and sacrificing precious hours of sleep just to avoid being late. Yet, despite your best efforts, you still end up late for work. This is the harsh reality of daily life here. One of the most frustrating parts is that so much of the commute is beyond your control. You can leave home earlier than usual, carefully plan your route, and do everything right, only to find yourself stuck in a long line of commuters waiting for a ride. Sometimes there are not enough jeepneys or buses to accommodate everyone. Other times, traffic becomes so heavy that vehicles barely move. For countless workers, this is not an occasional inconvenience, it's a daily routine. I avoid riding jeepneys as much as possible, especially during rush hours or when I'm in a hurry. Usually, it only takes around 20 minutes to get from my apartment to my office when there's no traffic. But on weekdays, traffic is almost guaranteed. My daily commute usually takes about 30 minutes by motorcycle, but if I take a jeepney, it can take up to an hour, especially on Mondays. I think I'm still lucky though. Some people I know spend 4 to 6 hours a day commuting just to get to work, and some even spend more, especially those who live in provinces outside Metro Manila like Laguna and Cavite. By the time you arrive at the office, you're already exhausted and drained from the commute even before you start your actual work. Time to go home. It's a lucky Friday today because there weren't many tasks assigned, so we were allowed to leave a bit early. Some of my colleagues are also heading back to their provinces. Thankfully, the rain has stopped. Going home, many people prefer to book an angkas ride since it's more convenient and direct. The problem is that during rush hour, it's very hard to get a booking. You can add a tip to try to get prioritized, but it's still not guaranteed because everyone else is likely doing the same. There are also these habal-habal riders, which are similar to angkas but much more expensive, often 3 to 5 times the usual fare. Unfortunately, some take advantage of commuters in situations like this. I tried booking, but no one accepted. In the end, I decided to walk to the next mall where I can catch a jeepney home. It might rain again, and I don't want to get stuck here if that happens. It's not exactly the most comfortable option, but sometimes it's the only choice you have. When getting a ride isn't possible, all you can do is move to the next option and hope that the line at the terminal or bus stop or jeepney stop isn't too long by the time you get there. That's the reality for many commuters. You make plans, but those plans often change depending on traffic, weather, and the availability of transportation. One moment you're trying to book a motorcycle ride, and the next, you're walking several blocks just to find another way home. Knowing that there's probably a long line at the jeepney stop, I decided to take a quick walk around the mall to pass the time. Hopefully, by the time I headed out to catch a jeepney, the crowd would have thinned out a bit. Sometimes, spending a few extra minutes inside an air conditioned mall is much better than standing in a long queue outside. I found this massage chair booth while walking around the mall, so I decided to give it a try and went for the 15-minute session for 50 pesos. It felt like a simple but worthwhile break from all the walking and noise. For a short moment, I just sat back, closed my eyes, and let the chair do its work while the mall continued buzzing around me. Honestly, I think 15 minutes was more than enough to loosen my body and release some of the stress built up from the day. It's surprising how even a short pause like that can make you feel a bit lighter and more refreshed, especially when you've been on your feet for a while. All right, time to go home for real this time. Often, the commute home is much worse than the commute to the office. Getting to a terminal is one thing, but the real challenge is waiting in line, especially during peak hours when everyone is trying to get home at the same time. The demand for rides suddenly spikes, and what should be a simple wait can turn into a long and exhausting ordeal. During rush hour, the queues can stretch for a long distance. People line up patiently under the hot weather, in noise and in crowds, all hoping that the next vehicle will finally be theirs. It's not uncommon to spend an hour or even more just waiting for a ride, with little choice but to stand still and watch vehicles come and go. By the time you finally get on a vehicle, you're already tired from a full day of work, physically drained and mentally worn out. Yet instead of relief, the journey home is only just beginning. The traffic, the crowd, and the slow movement of the road all add another layer of exhaustion, making the trip feel even longer than it really is. Often, getting off the jeepney or bus is not the end of your ordeal. There's still a long walk ahead, sometimes several hundred meters, and other times even a full kilometer or more, just to finally reach home. And if you're living alone, the day doesn't always end there. After a long commute and an exhausting workday, even simple tasks like cooking can feel like too much. In moments like that, eating out or grabbing something quick becomes the more practical and convenient choice just to get through the night. But tonight, I'm still cooking dinner, though I'll keep it simple. So I'm here at the fish stall to buy some tilapia. I'm going to cook paksiw with it. You know the tilapia here is always fresh because they're still alive and moving around. Since they're freshwater fish, it's easier to keep them alive in containers, which is why they're commonly sold this way in wet markets. Personally, I usually don't buy tilapia unless it's alive. It just feels like a better sign of freshness. You can really see it for yourself before choosing. Now, let's cook a paksiw dish. Paksiw refers to dishes cooked in vinegar, garlic, and other simple ingredients. You can use different kinds of main ingredients, but the most common are pork and fish. For me, fish paksiw is simpler to prepare and much faster to cook compared to pork. It is also one of the common everyday dishes cooked by Filipinos. Milkfish is usually the preferred choice, but tilapia and other types of fish can also be used. After preparing all the necessary ingredients, I'll put them in a pot. Then, I'll add about a cup of vinegar, followed by a cup of water. After that, I'll cover the pot with a lid and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. I'll add a bit of oil as well, since I forgot it earlier. Finally, I'll season it with salt and it's done.
We now return to Dateline. Our story tonight. The guy you think did it, he did it. Now go to bed. Your grandkids are coming tomorrow. I've never felt so alive!
Maya moves away, but you can't just sit around the house and drink all day.
It's all your fault Quagmire fell in love with you. Traipsing around in your tan pants and your green...
Alright, that's it. Thank you so much if you watched until the end. Cheers.